Hear
Also,
ye. Oh, set? Okay, cool. Hear ye. And we are live. And welcome to the ILS Podcast, LLC, and also lordsofgaming.net. And this is an ILP exclusive interview episode. I'm extremely excited about our special guest. And we've got Frosthaven and Snapshot games to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce two lords, one who is without a doubt a legendary founding father and absolute trailblazer in the realm of turn based strategy game design, and a second lord whose experienced production talents now transcend the realm of board games and the Wizard of the Coast to our beloved realm of video games. Introducing first, the CEO of Snapshot Games and legendary game designer of XCOM UFO Defense, Phoenix Point, and Frosthaven franchises. And introducing second, the lead producer and game director of the board game now turned in video game Frosthaven. Live from, I think, Bulgaria, and kind enough to make their debut into the realm of the Lords my man, the legendary Lord Julian Gollop and Hristo Petkov. How are you gentlemen doing?
fantastic. I've never had such a great introduction. Well
Yeah,
done.
the best introduction.
Much fun.
Very funny.
You are a lord in your realm, and what you do is an absolute
Yeah.
pleasure to have you guys in the realm of the lords. I know it's been all Frosthaven for the most part, but I'm just curious. Start with the legend, Lord Julian. Any
Mm.
other games have you been playing during this time, or has it just been heads down on Frosthaven?
Oof. Well, any other games? I do play quite a few board games still. I've even been getting back into miniatures games with Age of Sigmar, believe it or not, um, which is cool. I am still, my early days were all spent in board gaming and role playing gaming. Going back to like, the first, one of the first editions of Dungeons and Dragons. So I guess it's still one of my passions. Um, but yeah, but Frosthaven, of course, is also an adaptation of the board game. One of the most successful ever launched on crowdfunding, and it had this huge crowdfunding campaign. So I think from our point of view, it's been a privilege and a pleasure to work on this title.
No doubt. Lord Hristo, any besides being producer of the game, like any other games have got a chance to play during this time?
Um, yeah, computer games or any games.
Any game, any games.
So basically, I'm continuing my passion of actually playing board games and card games, TCGs mostly. I keep updated basically on what's up. I tried Outered, which is a French TCG, and
Okay,
also keep playing One Piece TCG.
okay.
Have a huge collection there, like big one. And I still have my Magic collection, but I don't play that much Magic the Gathering recently. But
Mhm,
yeah, I'm mostly keeping up with the tabletop side of things and TCG side of things. When it comes to computer games,
mhm.
well, I guess that I don't have that much time to play computer games between everything currently. I keep
Yeah,
updated,
I get a
obviously,
feeling. Yeah.
but
Yeah, these days a
but
lot of my computer game playing is spent playing with the kids,
I got you.
like the latest Mario Kart World, for example, on my Switch
Okay.
2, which is
Oh, you
awesome.
got the Switch too, Lord Julian for your
Yeah,
Switch
yeah,
too.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Love to
yeah.
hear
I've
it.
had I've had pretty much every Switch or so every sort of Nintendo device almost since the year dot.
Mm.
Um,
I have questions for you
yeah,
at the very end about consoles.
yeah,
Save that
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
Save that. No question. So I appreciate that. And of course, we have the original Lords of the Rub here at the round table. My co-host for the Cobos, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, Lord of his own world, and the how of the young wolf. Lord Attic, how we doing? How excited are we for the legends here today?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited to do this interview. You guys have to excuse me. It's been a long week.
Let's sleep deprived, but we getting through.
Yeah. So
No,
definitely eager to get into it.
no question. And of course, we have our favorite homegrown New Yorker, master of guinea pigs and super video producer, Lords of Gaming own, Lord PDTV. How we doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Just me, keeping it busy. Try to keep going with the games on the computer. Trying to make sure that the The kids are good, just keeping it busy. You know how I am here.
No question. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi Lord Cognito, spread that realness around the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. But we're going to get right into it. We got two legends in here, and we don't want to waste too much time. So, first of all, before we start and we get into the main event, I got to give personally Lord Julian his flowers. As a person who is an absolute trailblazer, in my opinion, in the realm of turn-based strategy games, I remember it like it was yesterday, Petey. A young Lord Cognito had a PlayStation 1, and it was an era of no YouTube, no reviews. And I remember that was when you had to buy games based on the box art. And I saw this game and it had a very cool art. I said XCOM, UFO defense. I'm like, okay, what's this about? And I never forget, I took a chance on it and fell in love with this game that absolutely became one of my favorite genres and turn-based. So yeah, man, I want to thank you personally, Lord Julian. Changed my
Well,
life.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. I'm really it's surprising to find someone who played the the PlayStation version of the game.
Because here's the thing, I
Yeah.
wasn't a PC gamer at all. So I
Right,
remember picking it
right.
up and I was like, I didn't know who Micropose as a company was. I just picked the game off based off the box art and aliens. And the next thing you know, adding your laugh, is that we started getting so addicted to the game. We would, as soon as they got off the Sky Ranger, we would name them. Put them, hey, put me over there, put me on Overwatch, that kind of thing. It was just it was a cruel, punishing game for games that you make mistakes, but it just introduced
Yes, it was.
to the world of turn-based. And I really want to
Yeah.
thank you for that, because as a result, you made me love a genre I never played before. So I want to give you your flowers on that.
Yeah,
Julian.
and
Well, that's awesome.
You
And-
made me completely rage on Phoenix Point. Yeah,
Oh,
there's some
yeah, that
aspects
is
of that game
that is a tough game. Yes, I agree.
I would like to say
No
thank
doubt.
you for taking thousands of hours of me playing both of those games and all of those games. So thank you.
No question. The mystery,
Thank
the
you very
music,
much.
yeah, shooting down the UFOs, all that good stuff. Oh my God, so much memories. And then obviously, we had Lord Jake Solomon from XCOM Enemy Unknown in the realm of Iron Lords podcast prior to this. He spoke very highly of you as an inspiration and when working on it, working on the defense. So my question to you is this, how do you feel? Did you know what you were doing at that time and the impact it would have in subsequent games in the genre? And then how do you feel about being called a trailblazer in the space?
Right. Yeah. Well, at that time, I can honestly say I had absolutely no clue whatsoever. I remember me and my brother Nick, we were kind of worried when we finished working on XCOM UFO Defense, because it was a very, it was a pretty unusual game for its time. And we didn't think that people would really relate to it very much. I do remember one of our QA testers coming in very close to the release of the game. He says, "Look, you got to watch this TV series. It's just like the game." I said, "What are you talking about?" "Look, there's a TV series, and it's just like your game." I said, "Right, what's it called?" It's called the X-Files. "Oh, really? Okay, this sounds interesting. This sounds interesting." Because I guess it kind of touched on the zeitgeist at the time. There was that, there was that sort of, the X-Files was really part of it, which was this, this idea of cover-ups and conspiracies with UFOs and all that kind of stuff, and secret alien visitors doing the nefarious things. So yeah, that was cool. So yeah, but we had no idea at the time
No
that we'd have
doubt.
such a big impact, and it's great to actually hear that people still play it and remember it. It's it's absolutely awesome.
No, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. Yeah, you're definitely legendary, and again, just changed the way we looked at a different genre before, and again, the addiction to it, and the layers. The gameplay itself, strategy, base layer, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really, really cool stuff. So salute to you on that. And then I think Attic, I was going to ask you this on reference to, Phoenix Point, which was the next part. The Attic really plays a lot. And was like, what were the learnings that you brought into Phoenix Point, moving forward? And then, and also you guys got I believe a Game Pass deal out of that with
Yep.
Xbox. That's how, again, coming from a console perspective and me not being a PC, like I get most of your games to console. So just wanted to talk about that development of Phoenix Point and some of the learnings you got from that.
Oof, yeah. The learnings I got from that is making these games is actually pretty difficult. even after all these
Mhm.
years, I would have to say. One learning we got through, because obviously it was a crowdfunding game. We set up Snapshot Games. We made it a smaller game to start with, Chaos Reborn, again based on one of my earlier titles. And Phoenix Reborn, I guess one of the big things we had to deal with is the legacy of XCOM. So I wanted to do something different. Maybe we tried something doing a bit too different, and maybe too ambitious. But I think we got a really interesting setting for that game. We had this like Lovecraftian thing going on. I think that really was pretty cool. We do get a lot of complaints about the difficulty of the game, and to be
Yes, yeah.
honest, maybe I haven't learned anything then since the original
Oh, we're gonna
XCOM
talk about
days.
difficulty.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe there's some things I learned, some things I didn't. But there you go.
Fair enough. Attic, any thoughts on Phoenix Point? I know you're a big Phoenix Point player.
What did you learn developing Phoenix Sport that you brought to Frosthaven?
What did we learn? Oh, that's a difficult question. I think setting a mood is really important. Getting the right presentation of your game. Does it fit the theme? And I think particularly with Frosthaven, I would say in particular the art team have done a great job creating and bringing to life this board game. In a board game, you have many abstractions. There's a lot of stuff is not visualized at all. So getting the right setting, the right mood. The other thing, which obviously remains a challenge, is getting, because both Phoenix Point and Frosthaven have a fairly complex game mechanics and complex user interface. So the two things that we will really have to pay a lot of attention to is how to introduce new players to this game and get them on board, make the user experience as frictionless as possible, and to get for advanced players, getting all those sort of UI issues where we need to give the player the right feedback on what's going on, and so on. And we'll probably dig into this a little bit, what we've done here with Frosthaven that maybe we didn't actually do with Phoenix Point.
Yeah, fair enough. I appreciate. We're gonna definitely get right in. Go right into the main event here and the reason why we're here. And actually want to start off with Lord Hristo and basically what led to Frosthaven. Explain the development process and then kind of transforming this hugely popular board game, right? That again, most of us in the realm are not familiar with here, but into a video game. Like, tell us about that process.
Yeah, sure. So basically, first, it all started with our passion to board games. There's plenty of people in the studio that are playing board games all the time, once, twice a week. So we generally wanted to do something like this, but we wanted to find the right game for us because, like you said, basically we are focusing mainly on strategy, tactical games. So it kind of felt like a perfect fit at the time. We were talking, having kind of heard that from Asmodee because we are in the same group, that they're looking for developers for Frosthaven, and yeah, we kind of intervened there, and we're like, yeah, guys, we're here. We can probably do that. It sounds like something that is exactly for us. And we organized a meeting with Isaac, who is the board game developer, and Asmodee. And we pitched the game to them. We already started some work on it at this point, like just preliminary. And they liked it very much, what we wanted to do. And the core thing I think is important here, and kind of segueing to the previous question about what we learned and what was similar between the two games, is basically that both games are community-driven games. It's all about people, the community, and how they interact with the games we are making. So this game, as a board game and with a huge core audience of players already existing, we really needed to actually communicate that we are making this game for them first. Yes, of course, we want new players in, like Julian said. We want to make these UI changes. We want to make it accessible to everybody, but we want to keep this communication going. And I think this is what kind of won Isaac over to actually give us the opportunity to actually do this game with him.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, and I love that you they were thinking of something. You guys felt like it was a synergistic fit, and then the
Yeah.
meeting kind of happens there, which is pretty cool. Petey, I'll let you joke because I got a bunch of questions. I don't
Yeah,
let
yeah,
me
yeah.
I'll go crazy.
I had one question that kind of adds on to the question you just asked. So,
Mhm.
being that board games are so the Frosthaven board game is so lively and how that operates, and we know of Gloom Haven of being its predecessor. Is there anything that you guys saw in Gloom Haven that you wanted to bring over to Frosthaven that would allow the player base to kind of flow into Frosthaven with a little bit of like synergy or understanding of how they're playing already?
Oh yeah, we didn't really did everything from scratch, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of doesn't make sense because even though those two games are not directly sequels to one
Correct.
another, they're built in the same universe and they're
Kind of
built on the
parallel.
same mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're built on the same mechanics mostly. Of course, Frosthaven is more complex in its
Mm-hmm.
mechanics. Not specifically more difficult, but there are like more of them, more mechanics and more content. So basically, we had to make sure that the people that have played the previous game on digital feel at home. We did make some changes to actually hide some of the interface, make it a bit more streamlined, and borrowed some interface ideas from other games like Baldur's Gate and so on.
Oh, I was gonna ask that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I mean, it will be stupid on our part to actually not accommodate this
Mm-hmm.
because people are used to some things, and for example, the party being on the left. This is something that it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
from such games, not specifically Baldur's Gate 3, but this is common for those kind of games for a long time now, like 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
30 years now. So we did make some changes, but we kept a lot of the UI and interactions similar to Gloomhaven, so people are still
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
at home.
yeah, as I say, I mean, our starting point for Frosthaven Digital was Gloomhaven Digital,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we have to understand that a lot of players have played Gloomhaven Digital, but not the actual board game. So
Mm-hmm. Correct.
that's quite a big part of our audience for Frosthaven. So we want to keep some things familiar, and we want to improve on other things, as Hristo said. Yeah.
I'm
Gotcha.
Yeah,
actually.
we actually.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sorry.
No, you go. You go
So
first.
yeah. So basically, at the beginning, when my first question actually to Price, which is the other guy from Cephal Fair, apart from Isaac, was actually what did you like about Gloomhaven and what you wanted to make better? This was
Gotcha.
actually
Mm-hmm.
my first question when we started developing, and he pointed some things that he wanted to change. Obviously, Gloomhaven is a great game,
Mm-hmm.
digital. So it's not like we want to make completely revamp it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to keep a lot of the things, but actually improve on some things like UI, UX on some places, multiplayer functionalities, tutorialization. There are multiple things that we wanted to do, like art on the cards and stuff like that. But we want to keep the whole feeling of Gloomhaven
Mm-hmm.
there.
For me, the digital versions of these games, both of them, are kind of enlightening to me. I have not many friends around myself that can actually sit down and play those games together. So these digital board games really do bring that aspect in, and it's greatly appreciated from me. So
No question. Attica, what don't you to jump in? Any questions in reference to Frosthaven?
Yeah, I'll pick up the conversation about the UI. I ain't gonna lie, I had to play the tutorial 3 times. It was definitely more of the harder of the games that I've played to pick up.
Yep.
So
Yep.
my question to you is, because you did say that you're looking into maybe making the UI a little bit. What are some of the things that you feel is like from early testing that maybe need to be changed about the UI of the game?
Oh, this is a huge question. So I'll
Oh,
let
that's
Hristo answer it.
I saw
Yeah.
I saw you guys changed
Okay.
one. You guys changed one already. I played
Well,
one day and you had the movement and the attack on one side of the card, and then I logged in the next day. There was a
Yeah.
patch, and then next
Mhm.
thing I know, they're underneath it. So I know you
Yeah,
guys are
'cause, I
changing
mean,
the UIs all the time.
it's not
yeah,
only
yeah,
movement and attack, the whole cards were changed
Yeah.
from this version to
Wow.
the other,
Yeah.
like
yeah. I mean, the
every
thing we have
card in the game.
to, Yeah, we're already reacting to the community feedback. I mean, it's going back to the point Rissa said about community-driven development. So even though we have a substantial part of the game implemented, what we need to do, work with the community, is figure out how we can improve on it. And we're already doing that since we had the open beta and the demo. So we are a lot of our active development is on the UI and tutorialization side at the moment, but I'll let Hristo dig into a few more examples of that.
Yeah, of course. So basically, first of all, like you just mentioned, we are updating the game very often. There will actually be update tomorrow, most likely, and another one on Monday. So there is plenty of updates to do. Some smaller, some bigger. But yeah, as Julian said, we are listening to feedback. Obviously, we changed all the cards. Now we changed also the monster cards. We are gonna have a refresher on the general info screen, which will change how things are structured there. But when it comes to feedback, for example, one thing that players really want from the drifter to actually have a way to track the experience gained through his continuous effects. This is something that we are also going to address. But there is actually a pretty big list of things, and we are like 3 or 4 people on UI that are constantly doing this. But what I basically said on multiple occasions now is that when we were planning the project and we were planning what people will need after the early access release, mostly, I planned the whole UI team to be there for the full early access. So yeah, basically, it's not ending here. The whole early access, we are still gonna listen to feedback and change the UI and UX. There is a lot of things to change, but
Yeah,
the main challenge there is there is a very thin line in between making the game as it is in the board game, basically giving you options to choose everything, and being too cumbersome when it comes or sluggish when it comes to gameplay. So this is the hardest line to walk. And how we're planning to resolve this is by making a lot of those things optional in the options, so you can kind of choose how you play it and what the game allows you to interact with, so to speak. I'll give an example because it's a little bit trickier to just vaguely explain it like that. But for example, if an enemy can come to you and he can attack you from 2 different sides and it's same distance, right? So in the board game, this is called ambiguity, and the players decide where the enemy moves. This is normally decided by the AI of the game and in the digital version. But in some cases, this can give advantage to the players. So the game is kind of easier in the board game that way. And it matters sometimes because of positioning, because some attacks have positioning requirements. So hardcore players that really want to play on higher difficulties, this is important for them. And I really don't want to do it for everybody because it will be extremely annoying for everybody to the game to ask you about everything about the enemy does. So yeah, it's a thin line.
so you're saying we add this as an option for the advanced players?
Yeah.
So if an enemy can take 2 possible paths, the advanced players can have the option to make the decision which one they take.
Yeah, exactly.
But for mere mortals like me, it will make absolutely no difference because it might send it to me anyway.
It can still make a difference, but at the same time, it will interrupt your gameplay so much that it might get annoying. And if you're willing to do that,
making the game flow more smoothly, yeah.
Well, what I gotta respect for you guys is, the feedback and respecting the feedback, because a lot of these times where people say it's their game, they can make the game they want, and they don't like. You guys understand we got to be faithful to the board game, but at the same time, we got to find a middle ground, and you're truly trying to find the middle ground and not just deciding where the middle ground is. Especially, I do believe in, building a game with a community. I feel like that's what made Baldur's Gate so special because, back and forth feedback from developer to fan, going amongst a whole development process can mean a lot in the end. And I really
totally
appreciate you guys doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Good. Well said. And again, kind of just to add on to what Attic was saying in reference to challenge, and we were talking about that. I mean, you too, Petey, reference to challenge as far as
Yes.
the game. Because there's a part of me that obviously would respect your core game design philosophy if this is, that style of a game, but at the same time, having that, balance from taking the feedback from the community and seeing, what changes and maybe with difficulty or scaling and things of that nature. What was I guess, some of the early feedbacks in reference to challenge of the game, that maybe you received from the community that maybe you immediately felt you needed to address or will address soon?
Uh, that's an interesting, very very interesting question. Because currently the game is faithful to the board game, right? And at the same time, there are things known from the board game that are, for example, some scenarios too difficult for when you encounter them, or some enemies are too difficult. And people generally, when they play the board game, they can house rule some things. And in the digital game, house rules don't really exist now. They might in the future, but during early access. But I spoke with Isaac recently, and that's why we actually created a small community council. It's like 10 people, 10 people, who are very dedicated fans of the game. And some things that people don't like from the board game or want them changed from the board game. It's really hard to do in the board game, right? You need to do a new printing, second edition. It's really hard. So we are planning to actually engage with Isaac and this community and actually discuss, for him to discuss with them what he is willing to change in the balance of the game and so on, because it's much easier for us to do it in a digital form compared to him in physical, right? So this is a process that is going to happen very soon, but for the early access specifically, we are faithful. It is exactly as it is in the board game, but during early access, we will make those changes for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, but there is actually a couple of things that we have done to make the game easier for
that's
newer players.
true.
So this is another aspect to it. We didn't need the community to tell us this because it was already
Yeah,
an
the
issue
game
when
is
we
hard.
first started. Yeah. So we have a new difficulty mode in the game, and which Hristo
I
can
can
explain
explain
in
what
more
it is. Yeah.
detail. Yeah, I'll get over to you.
So yeah, basically the new difficulty mode is more like a different mode of playing the game, but we called it story difficulty. So
Mm,
yeah, why I'm saying this is a different mode. If you're familiar with Gloom Haven and Frosthaven, one of the main concepts of the game is time pressure. So basically, every time you refresh your cards, you need to sacrifice one card.
yeah.
So yeah, basically, you have a limited amount of turns to end the scenario. So it feels more like a combination between a tactical game and a puzzle in a way, because you
It
have like 10
really
rounds to actually.
piles the pressure on
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
going to run out of cards.
Yeah.
And what we tried with the story difficulty is actually to remove the time pressure. It's still a tactical game, but when you rest, when you refresh your cards, you don't need to lose a card. It makes it
Mm,
way easier, obviously. People are
Mhm.
still losing scenarios, but it makes it
Yeah.
way easier. And when I asked more dedicated fans, they were like, yeah, I can see the appeal in this, even though nobody from the dedicated fans will play like this, obviously, but it's not intended for them anyway. And our basically from our research from different people that haven't played the game before but have been familiar with other games that are similar, let's say Pathfinder or Baldur's Gate or something like this. Uh, they play several scenarios like this, like 3, 4, 5, and they get used to the mechanics, and then they feel confident to actually try the actual way to normally play the game.
Yeah. I'm going to start the game properly now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
this is
You,
great.
you can
This
dynamically
is
change the
fantastic.
difficulty, so it's not a
Oh,
problem.
so we have that
Yeah.
change.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Sure.
nice.
Yeah.
No, no.
The other great, well, the other useful feature, shall I say, compared to probably Gloomhaven Digital, is that we'll have an undo at any point in the
Yeah.
game.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
It
original
was one of
Gloomhaven
the highest
Digital, it
requested
was one of the
features.
most
Yeah.
requested things. Yeah. Yeah, so Gloomhaven Digital, you had a sort of undo. You could restart the round, but as you
Okay.
know, that can be, could be a long time,
Mhm.
long time ago that you started. But now we have an undo feature that allows you to undo your any number of steps in the game. So again, very useful.
I love
to a
when
novice
games do
player.
that.
Yeah.
No,
I
he's speaking to me, Joe. Again, Peter, because he's speaking to me.
Oh, he's speaking to me too. Oh,
yeah, because
there's times where I just want to chuck a mouse because I'm just like, I didn't mean to do that. Oh man, I want to go back. I can't go back anymore. Man.
The funny thing is like a lot of because let's be real here, like people are gonna play the game the way they want. They're just gonna save. I think they call it scum saving.
Scum saving.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking scum saving.
So like they're gonna play the game they want the way they want anyway. So you might as well give them the ability to go back a turn. Like,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Actually, when you mentioned saves, it is important. Another important thing, it's connected to the undo. The original Gloom Haven Digital didn't have save when you want. It did save automatically every round, and it felt like it is consistent. It's like an Iron Man. The standard way of playing it was like Iron Man. So what we implemented now is more like a standard save system. So you have multiple saves, multiple autosave, multiple quick saves. So it's much easier to actually
Save at any point as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, save at any point. Well, almost any point. For example, you cannot save while your character moves or something like this. Mid animation, you cannot do that.
Well, any step, shall we say, in the game? Yeah.
Any step. But it kind of, this undo system was partially possible because of that. It was one of the biggest features we actually had to create because our developers basically said it's impossible to do.
You would not believe how difficult this was.
Really? Oh wow.
Yes.
Because we started with the code base of Gloom Haven, this wasn't really possible, supported in any way. But we managed to do it. It's currently an experimental feature, and again, it goes back to the community, right? Because when you play the board game, you can back. It's very easy to say, "Oh, I didn't mean to play that or pick that," and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody will say anything about this. And in digital, you said that you misplayed many times, and it actually happened to me on stream before we actually enable this feature. I was streaming the game and I picked the wrong card because they kind of looked similar. In the rush, I just picked the wrong one, and it ruined the whole idea of the turn.
Oh yeah.
So it was pretty bad. But now you can do everything.
Yeah, I like the concept where it's like you feel like you're about to win, and then you don't. You're like, no, there's a way to do it. I just have to keep figuring out which way.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Playing. So just something. If you go and do stuff, we are still keeping the rolls the same. So if you try to repeat the same thing, it will roll the same.
You'll get the same result.
It's not like you get the same result.
As a person that is allowed to save, like even in between rounds and stuff like that, it works out really well for me because like sometimes I'll be playing a game and something's going on, and my wife's like, "Come over here and help with this kid." And I was like, "Oh God." And I got to run and I got to do it, and it's going to be a 30-minute thing. So those saves actually help, the older player base being able to take care of,
Yeah, I'm crazy like this. When I played Baldur's Gate, I just checked recently how many saves did I have during the campaign because I'm quick saving all the time, which is insane. I know, but I had like close to 900 saves during the playthrough. So
there you go.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad we were able to implement this kind of stuff, and obviously from a code standpoint, be able to make these changes that look like you guys are getting initial pushback from the team that seemed impossible at one point. But I wanted to, give you credit from a standpoint of, remember, I'm a person who I am unfamiliar with the board game, unfamiliar with a lot of this universe, and just coming into it. And I just thought, from a concept wise, there was some really cool things, like with the card system, and then a fail state almost. If the question, if you haven't done the main objectives with the cards being done, which I thought was interesting. Then you had something with reference to damage, right? When you can lose a card and say, okay, instead of taking this damage, I will lose this card instead, which I thought is a very interesting concept. And the thing that I personally
You're basically removing time, right? I mean,
right?
You have less time to finish the mission. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's changing.
Yeah, please. I thought that was a very unique, cool concept. And then the other thing, I know it's a minor thing, and I see some games do it, but I did like the fact that when I was using one of the characters, and basically they were like a range character, I just throwing the javelin, stuff like that, having that distance, right, to go back and without having a negative modifier instead of I'm like on top of the person. So basically, you were rewarding the melee ability for being close, but also the ranged ability had a negative modifier for being close. close, so you wanted to use it effectively.
Yep.
So I thought that was
Yeah, you
interesting
roll
and very realistic.
disadvantage basically. Yeah,
Yes.
you roll 2 modifiers and you pick the worst.
Yes. I thought
Yeah.
all of this was interesting.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And then my follow-up question, I'll give it to you, PD, after this. Narrative. So you guys are doing obviously a cooperative, online, feature in terms of the game. How do you handle narrative in Frosthaven when you have a cooperative turn-based game like a Baldur's Gate 3 or Wasteland 3 and things like that? How do you deal with the challenges of that and also respecting the lore that comes with this, very famous, board game?
Well,
Um,
the well, the
it
narrative
helps with the
actually
structure of the game, though.
yeah. We in this case we are following the structure of the board game pretty exactly.
Okay.
Well,
And
there is some changes, but
yeah, although we're using, so we do have narration. It is narrated, the story. So the little story elements, the introduction to the scenarios and the other events are narrated. But it follows the text and writing from the board game very closely here. We don't have lots of fancy cinematics or anything like that. This game is all mechanics, story, and the depth of all the choices you get. But it is a big story. I mean, it's a much bigger story than Gloom Haven, actually. I would
yeah,
say.
it is. I think there is mostly one problem that we are still facing. It's not resolved yet. I mean, we have some ideas, but it's not final. So basically, the story itself, when it comes to presentation, is relatively simple because you have the story bits before and after scenarios, and in scenarios there are fairly low amount of interactions and story bits. There is some, but not many. But the main problem we were facing and relatively still facing is that a lot of the story, I'll try not to spoil much about it because the community is really
Be careful,
make
Hristo. Be
Yes.
careful.
yeah. So there is one thing in the this is not a huge spoiler though. There is one thing in the game that's called the puzzle book. The puzzle book is unlocked at a certain point, and it is fairly connected to actually finishing the game and the story of the game. And the puzzle book is very conflicting thing from the board game because it is very interesting, but because it blocks your progression if you cannot solve it in the board game version, it can be very problematic. We don't want something that is very like finding stuff type of puzzle, reaching conclusions from different texts and so on, finding what numbers means to those dashes, what numbers are there and so on. It is interesting, but it's not the core audience of the game, right? The core audience of the games are tactical or strategy gamers. They're not puzzle gamers. So it is a bit tricky how to actually implement this kind of feeling without actually making it mandatory to actually solve puzzles. I'll give a small example from this is actually one of the puzzles to be solved required to look at the art of the original game and the buildings of the original game and find some things on those building art.
Oh, wow.
So making it, obviously we cannot translate this into digital. I mean, it will
Clearly, this would be a
right.
challenge. This would be a
it will be
challenge.
ridiculous. It will be ridiculous. So and because it's still the main way to actually progress the story, it is a little bit of a problem how to actually do that. But for the good thing for us is this is not due in the first in early access initially. It will be due in 3 months.
Okay, so we got time. We got time to tackle that one.
Time's ticking though.
Yep.
Not a lot of time, but yeah, we have some ideas how to resolve it. It's not like we're clueless or anything, but I really want to discuss with the community because I really want to hear their opinion about our ideas first.
Fair
Yep.
enough. Fair enough.
Yep.
Lord Petey.
It's a little bit of a two-parter question. So we originally start out with I'm trying to remember if it's 5 or 6 characters, and from our understanding, because I haven't gotten that far yet, but when you complete their personalized missions and they go off and do their thing, you're supposed to get new people that are going to be coming back. Do you have a set number of people that are already players that are going to be able to come back, and how many like total you have, and also like because each character has their own character and character art. Is there like
Yeah.
a do you guys have like a finite amount of cards that you've already created total? Like is it like
Yeah.
500 cards or something like that, or can you guys talk about like
Yeah, I
both
don't know how
those?
many it is, but I mean, there's 17 characters
17.
in the game.
Oh,
17.
wow.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh,
wow.
you've got 6 initial characters.
right.
And yeah, you can unlock another 11. And you're right, they all have a unique set of cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how many each character has, around about 12,
Approximately
15.
30.
Something. Yeah.
30
What are the
around. So basically, your 500 was about correct.
Oh,
There
wow.
are
Yeah.
around 500 different cards in the game.
Wow.
But I think there is some misunderstanding here. When you retire a character, you can hire the same one after
Okay.
that, same class if you want.
Okay.
If you really like playing certain class, you can create a new one of the same class. That's not a problem. You can continue. The main idea about retirement is not like only finishing their story, basically finishing their quests and so on. The main idea of retirement is it unlocks stuff.
Mhm.
In the case of Frosthaven, it was unlocking new characters. But in the case of Gloom Haven, it unlocks new buildings.
Mhm.
So allowing you to actually
In Frosthaven,
customize
you
your... sorry, Frosthaven. You can
You're the other way
unlock
around.
new buildings. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those new buildings give you new options, new quest lines. There is a lot of stuff that to unlock through retirement. So basically, if you don't retire your characters at all, which is technically possible if you don't finish their quests, you kind of block yourself from progressing the game. So that's not ideal.
Mhm.
But yeah, as Julian said, there are 6 characters initially. After basically the first 3 scenarios, you unlock one more. And that's not a big spoiler. You unlock one of 2, depending of your choice on that scenario. So technically, there are 6 available in the beginning of early access, and sorry, 8, 6 plus 2.
6 plus
And
2, yeah.
yeah, so basically during early access we have updates every 3 months. So this is like 3rd month, 6th month, 9th, and 12th. For updates, and each of those updates will get more characters. So we'll have up to 17 at the final release. And as I said, you can repeat characters. And you can try different builds from the second
Right.
character and so on.
When you're picking the characters, because you said like you get to decide between one or the other, do you ever get the option to pick that other person?
You mean the other card?
The other,
Or
well, no,
when you level up?
like the
When you
the
had
other
when you get
characters.
the choice of 2.
Yeah.
the
at the end
choice.
of the
Yeah.
This is a spoiler, but
Oh.
yeah, sure, you do.
Okay. Okay.
But it's not during early access, because the scenario that allows you to recruit the other guy is later in one of the storylines.
Mhm. Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it is possible, but it's not initially in early access.
Do you
Gotcha.
You can start another campaign and try the other guy.
do we have access to in early access? Do we have access to the whole game, or only technically part of the game? And then with those increments every 3 months, we're going to get access to more of the game.
Okay, first let me just explain how
What's
big
the
is the
roadmap?
game.
Yes.
Yes,
sorry.
that's
I'm
what
sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry.
Roadmap.
Sorry. Roadmap. Roadmap me.
No,
Julian knows.
roadmap. Actually, we are gonna publish a roadmap, but it's gonna be like a month after release. We want to first get our feet on the ground, right?
Mhm.
Get some feedback, and then we're gonna publish the roadmap. But the idea is, first I want to give you a perspective of the size of the game, because we already spoke of how many characters you can play, but how many missions there are in the game. So in the board game there are 137 missions. And we have implemented, well, we're planning to implement a total of 134 of them. So we're missing only 3 missions that for specific reasons we are not implementing. But each mission normally won't happen from the first time. It will take some time, probably. I would say first playthrough probably that is 1 hour per mission or something like this. And in between missions, it will take probably around 200 hours to finish the game to completion. So what do we have in early access? In early access, we have 37 of those, 37 missions and 3 tutorial missions. So probably around between 30 and 40 hours of gameplay for full playthrough of the early access.
Nice.
Which is a lot, actually.
Yes.
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 That is a lot of
big, yeah.
content. Oh, for sure. For sure. No, this is good stuff. Now, we Lords, I want to ask some accessibility questions. I know you guys are early access. Things are still developing and stuff like that. But, what current features does Frosthaven have in terms of accessibility, or what you plan to do in terms of accessibility? Because I noticed initially there's no controller support. And I just wanted to know another question for our community in terms of accessibility and controller support. Also, would there ever be a consideration for like I know it's online multiplayer, but like maybe a local co-op mode? So those were a couple of accessibility questions I had for you guys for the team. I know it's early though.
Well, what does local co-op mean? I mean, you can hot seat it. It obviously works.
Technically.
So,
I think maybe
yeah,
what
I
it
mean,
means, can you all sit on the couch, each with your own controller, and play the game?
Mhm.
No, which
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't,
yeah.
by the way. And I'm not suggesting that you do that either.
It was asked by our community. So
Yes.
Julian is actually right. That was
Yes.
legit asked.
Yeah, no, I
Absolutely,
mean,
it makes sense. It makes sense. It requires a little bit of history to actually answer this question. So basically, when we started developing the game, it was supposed to be multi-platform release. So it was supposed to be released on both PC, Xbox, PlayStation at the same time. And the reason we dropped this initially is because it would have taken us way too much time to actually do it for the initial release. And with that said, that doesn't mean we won't do it. Um, so when it comes to consoles, it's a bit trickier. But when it comes to just controller support, this is a possibility. Actually, we are currently not announcing that it's supported because there are some issues. Obviously, it's not supporting controller support. But we have reports from people on Steam Deck actually being able to actually map their keys correctly so they can actually easily operate the game on Steam Deck. It's not priority to make this for early access initially, but
It'd be nice.
it is very nice to have it. So it's still on our radar. We want to do it. It's just that it's a little bit back when it comes to pipeline.
No
yeah,
question. No,
it's
please,
going to be
Julian.
a little way down the roadmap.
Fair enough. I like the idea of it, the consideration, the fact that it came up in discussion
We
is
definitely consider it. Yeah, we definitely consider it.
is much appreciated. And you already kind of lead into kind of my follow up. And Attic, I'll let you go after me. In reference to future plans, because you said initially development was considering a multi-platform console and PC at one point. Because I know we have a big console community, and a lot of them are like, "Hey, man, we love turn-based and we love board games, and things like this." And especially with the card aspect as well, like when would it come to us? So the fact that there could be a possibility down the road that our console brethren don't feel loved out. All the PC games get all the turn-based and board game love that sometimes the console guys miss out. Fix your face, Petey, because he's a PC guy. I'm the
PC
console guy of
always.
the group, right? So I get it. So when you said that, I was like, oh, this was initially going to be developed at the same time.
It was supposed to be. That's why I said there's some. I don't know if we disabled it now, but there was some basically possibility to actually play with controller and play on different platforms. But we removed it because it's half baked. Obviously, because at the middle point of development, we stopped it. It's not supported after that. But at certain point, I would like to actually start an evaluation and see how much effort it will be for us to do it. So yeah, it's definitely something on our radar.
Nice. Lord Attic, any questions? Follow-up questions?
No, you guys pretty much asked all of the questions that I had. I was gonna ask the controller support question.
Oh, yes, I got you in the control. No. Lord Petey, any follow-up questions?
I am good. Thank you.
Cool. No, look, man, we're super excited again, seeing this combination come together, between this historic, this popular board game being transitioned over to video game space, and then obviously seeing the work and you guys working with your community, taking the feedback. This is really cool. So for people who want to try to get more information to learn about Frosthaven, what they could do to support and early access, what can they do?
What can they do? Well, they need to visit our social channels, the media channels, for sure. And
we have very active Discord, so
yes, so the Discord is probably the place to be, isn't it? Because there's already a huge Gloom Haven community there, and there's going to be transition to a Frosthaven community. So you're right. I mean, Discord is the place to go to discuss with players. Apart from that, yeah, please get the early access and give us feedback directly on Discord or through Steam forums would be much appreciated.
Yeah, and actually we're releasing early access on 31st, right?
31st.
And the first week it's actually discounted, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Of course.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Talking nice discounted price. We like that. We like it.
Yeah.
We definitely like that. No, we definitely want to, signal boost this and see a project like this get up off the ground. I did ask, actually, your two hardest questions before both of you leave. And this is a question that we ask everyone in the realm, So you got to think hard with this, Lord Julia, because you said you were the kids. You played it. You mostly were doing the board games, all the stuff, but you weren't playing computer games in a while. But I need the XCOM Legends top 5 video games or franchises of all time. Your personal favorite. And Hristo, you're next.
Do I have
go.
to give 5?
5.
Yeah, I can
Any?
give...
Yeah.
Right. I'll
That's
see
a
if I
tough
can
question.
do this. I'll see if I can do this. Civilization.
Oh, okay.
Which one? I'm not too sure actually. But
Franchise is cool.
Let's say
Yep.
Civilization franchise. Firaxis is XCOM 2.
Oh, you give a Jake Solomon.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
you give a Jake Solomon his
absolutely.
flowers from the legend to another. This is awesome. Continue.
I mean, Sid Meier, Jake Solomon, yeah, the two greatest. I would have to go. Oh my, this is where I get stuck. Again, another very old strategy game. Sorry to do this, but yeah, it's Master of Magic.
Okay.
Oh,
For
we're
another
going way back.
Microprose game. Yeah, way back. I will have to go also, even though it's a very old one again, Final Fantasy Tactics, which I played on
Attica's in love with you.
PlayStation.
Yeah, they're about to remake that. I'm mad excited.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yep, me too.
Legendary.
Me too.
Yeah,
What more, don't Julia?
I think the other one, to be honest, I would have to say Quake 2. I don't know why, probably because it's one of the games I played the most of. Sorry, very old games here. I know.
No, I love this.
We love
making any apologies.
No, I love this. But FPS Legend, I love your choices. This is awesome. First of all, I love that you have a Jake Sullivan. I love that you got Final Fantasy Tactics, and then you got an FPS game. A very diverse lineup. I like that. Lord Hristo, your top 5 video game or franchise?
Extremely hard question.
Pick amongst your kids. What's your favorite children?
The main problem here is exactly the opposite as with Julian. I have too many, but to pick the 5 is really tough.
It's tricky.
Okay, there is one that is always comes to mind. It's very obscure probably, and I probably haven't heard it, but it is Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Wow,
so another old classic.
It is it's very old classic. It's a point-and-click adventure. So, and I think it's one of the best executed ones. When I was little, I played a lot of point-and-click and a lot of strategies. When it comes to strategies, it's really hard to pick one, but I think Age of Empires 2: The Conquerors is one of my most favorite ones. Yeah, Heroes of Might and Magic, obviously.
Yeah.
Here's a Bible. Yeah, I knew that was going to be one of the Wizard of the Coast games going to be in here.
Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Well, obviously StarCraft. Let's say it's a 4th one. And there is one, if we talk about hours played, it's a bit tricky because I have tons of hours in World of Warcraft and Diablo, but like insane amounts. I have more than a year playtime in World of Warcraft. No, this is not the 5th actually.
Was that the 5th? Okay.
No, it's
that's
not.
You're excluding those. My goodness.
He's excluding Diablo. Wow. Okay.
I'm excluding Diablo because of Diablo 4, actually.
Slander. We're gonna let that rock. We gotta edit it out. I'm just joking.
We'll have to DM each other later.
Yeah. So no. I think one game that make a lot of big impression to me, and I have about 3,000 hours in it. Is actually Oxygen Not Included.
Oh, beautiful,
Uh,
beautiful.
it's
Oh,
a
my
really
goodness.
amazing game.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Wow. Absolute amazing choices again. An absolute pleasure. Snapshot Games, Lord Julian Gollop, Lord Hristo Petkov, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm discussing Frosthaven. Thank you so much for your time. Again, early access lords, go out there and support it. Hit that Discord up and give them the feedback. They're listening. They're taking feedback. This is very, very important during the process. Again, thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm of the lords.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's been
you.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oof.
All good, Brad.
Stop recording. Okay.